better IP like laws with China. I've respected better trade deals, and all they ask in return is that we not interfere in their internal affair of reuniting Chinese Taipei with the mainland or whatever the one China policy we've respected for many years. I see no reason to get involved. America first. We don't want to get involved in foreign wars. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, he'll say he ended the Chinese Civil War by reunifying China. That's true. That's crazy. Upsides, relations will probably be much better. I promise you. I promise you. The annexation, well, not annexation, the invasion of Taiwan would not lead to a more peaceful South China Sea. Okay, it would be a ruinous, and but the Taiwanese would like fight for every square foot of land. It would be devastating. It would not be good. They would sabotage the plants. Oh, probably, yeah. They would cut the elevator up the Eiffel Tower. This is pretty grim, guys. Pretty grim. This is the reason behind the tariffs. You can't just link an article saying who a guy is. I know who Stephen Moran is. What's the point? Thank you.
Money. We don't have to give them money. They're going to come in because it's good for them to come in. They're giving them money. They don't even know what they're going to do with it. I had people tell me, we have no idea. We didn't need money. They don't know if they're probably going to use the money to build in other places, other countries. It's a ridiculous plan, very expensive and ridiculous. The only way you'll get out of this is to build your plant. If you want to stop paying the taxes or the tariffs, you have to build your plant right here in America. That's what's going to happen at record levels. We're going to have more.
The MIC wouldn't allow being pulled out of Taiwan. Why not? Like, why not? The military-industrial complex makes money when people are fearful and paranoid about the world. When people feel the need to raise their defense budgets up to the moon and beyond. Like, why not? China rapidly expanding territory. Japan would have to rearm. Like the Japanese mainland, they would have to start dumping money into their own military production because the expansion into the South China Sea would be a massive like geopolitical threat in the region. It would probably push like Vietnam and the Philippines closer to like it's just huge. They're already rearming. They'll double rearm. Taiwan claims they'd hit the Three Gorges with cruise missiles or has in the past. I don't think they'd be able to. You have to assume that China has like the world's most sophisticated anti-air, maybe if they have hypersonic missiles, but also that would be like a double, triple war crime. Taking out the Three Gorges Dam would be like, what, like 3 Holocausts in one move? Wouldn't that would flood like 30 million people, right? More? Yorp.
Plants built in the next short period of time than anybody ever envisioned before, because the incentive is going to be there because they have no tariff.
Based, let's go. It's actually not based. I'm sorry to... I know we have some NAFO individuals in chat. I'm really sorry. I know I hate to like cut down on the fun. I actually think that killing essentially like 20 times the number of people who died in Hiroshima, more than like 200 times in one act would be bad personally. That's just... I'm a different kind of guy on that, just sort of a personal opinion of mine.
Whatsoever. In fact, they have help from us if they build their plant in America.
It's not good. By focusing on chips and pharmaceuticals, Trump could squeeze U.S. allies in Asia, including Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan. I love it's just, dude, literally everyone this administration is going after is an ally. We're like all the nations that don't like America right now are just like, drumming their fingers together with literally like every single nation we're picking a fight with. Denmark, Greenland, Canada, Mexico, Colombia, potentially now South Korea, Japan, obviously Taiwan, like all of these countries, they're all our allies. Every one of them. Brazil, Panama too. Australia, nah, they're fine. Don't worry about it. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., the world's largest contract chipmaker, makes semiconductors for NVIDIA, Apple, and other U.S. clients. TSMC generated 70% of its revenue in 2024 from customers based in North America. Insane. Like, we rely on them so much. 1 glorpillion more to Israel. That's true. South Korea, too. Why isn't he shaking down Japan for all our military support? Oh, I'm sure he'll pick that fight eventually. It's just a one thing at a time kind of deal, No way shift chip manufacturing fast enough stateside to intentionally hand to one shot. Okay, but you have to understand, okay? Prices going down and the economy doing well for the oligarchs, those are not the same things, okay? Remember, the modern day wealth on top, like speculative wealth, VC wealth, has nothing to do with how well you're doing, okay? The oligarchs got richer after 2008. The oligarchs got richer after COVID. Like, there's the relationship between how well the economy is doing for us and how well it's doing for them, total disconnect. The more crisis, generally, the more wealth they get. So this, like, oh, sure, maybe your cards go up. Maybe everything gets more expensive. What does that have to do with them? That shit, that's not on them. That's not their wealth. When does it go worse for them? That's the fun part. It never does. The way the economy is currently structured, it never does. Their wealth will only go up, not down. It's designed that way. The line keeps going up. Well, eventually it's going to go down. But it'll go down for everyone. I don't understand. How is this good for tech oligarchs? We ought to lose the tech race now. You have to restructure how you think about these things, okay? The tech race isn't real. Nothing is real, all right? There are like 100, maybe 200 people on top of society that own basically everything. Their wealth is abstract and determined largely via vibes and hype. As long as people believe in it, they have that money. Because speculation and share values, I mean, that's what determines their wealth. Now, you getting screwed over has nothing to do with that. Who cares if Chinese billionaires are doing well? They're part of the same class. The systems that made our billionaires wealthy made their billionaires wealthy. To the extent that they collaborate, you know, ultra wealthy people in America rely on Chinese manufacturing, so Chinese tech does better. Okay, they can leverage that. Like, let me put it this way. Yeah, like Dana brings up. Let me put it this way, okay? You know that story about how they were going to dump $500 billion into AI research and then China came out with a better one after spending like, I don't know, 10 million or something like that? People are like, oh, this is costing the oligarchs money. And sure, NVIDIA takes a stock dip for the moment. You know, we'll see how long that one lasts. I've seen that happen before. Like Bitcoin went down and now it's through the roof, you know? So why does it matter, right? They spend money on AI. That money just comes back around to them. Government investment, you know, shareholder hype, speculative investment, and they benefit in the long run from the developments that come out of the Chinese product. It's this, the system's rigged. And I'm sorry, I know it's a sophomoric thing to say as a left-leaning person. I understand that, like, did you know the system's rigged? Did you know that they socialize the costs but privatize the profit? Like, I know. I've been hearing the same rhetoric since 2008. You know, all the 1% versus 99%ers. I know Occupy Wall Street. I get it, but it's still true. It's still true. So, like, what do you know, like, it's unfortunately, like, past the point, the truth might become a little bit like banal to repeat, but the truth, it remains. At Socialism 101. Well, this isn't really about socialism. It's about late stage capitalism. But I guess you can't really talk about late stage capitalism without being a socialist, because if you don't believe in socialism, you have to pretend that this is like corporatism. Oh, no, this outcome that is happening everywhere around the world in every developed capitalist society, this is just like an aberration. It's not meant to be like that. Democracies aren't supposed to be this heavily influenced by the ultra wealthy. Who made it like that? What system made it so that a small group of people had enough wealth to buy all the media and then rig the system in favor of their interests? Why? I don't understand. So yeah, it's a systemic failing, obviously. Yeah, you can't just give capitalism a slap on the ass and get it to not act this way. At least it gave us Nintendo. That's true. That's very true. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I am concerned about the Taiwan tariffs. Apparently Taiwan's responded? 1 second. Oh yeah, reminder that we're like 4 days out from the threatened 25% tariffs to Canada and Mexico, which I still feel like they're going to back out on, because like if that does happen, it would be ruinous to the economy. I'm stockpiling beans, are you? Responding to Trump tariff threat, Taiwan says chip business is win-win. Semiconductor business between Taiwan and US is a win-win model for both sides, given the high level of complementarity, the government said on Tuesday. Yep. But that's only the case if you care about how well your country or the people in the country are doing, as opposed to how well like 5 guys who run the country are doing, you know? It's like with Russia, you know? Russia has done lots of stuff to bankrupt Russia. Do you think the oligarchs are bankrupt? God, no. It was like this with feudal kings and aristocrats and stuff. You could have feast or famine. You could have good harvest years or bad harvest years. You could have wars, which went well and you plundered gold or whatever, and you could have wars that would go poorly. At the end of the day, the noblemen are always wealthy. They never run out of money. The system is set up so that they don't run out of money. That's the whole point. A bad economy means no one can buy these chips anyway. Who cares? So no one can buy them. And what does that have to do with the fake economy?